Are you missing the crispy pork belly? Actually, we can do it at home. This video, I will show you how to make the pork belly crispy and at the same time keep the meat tender and moist. It is incredibly easy to make and taste just like crispy pork belly that you buy from a Chinese restaurant. Let's get started. Let's start with picking a nice pork belly. You can easily buy a pork belly in your local butcher, or you may want to buy it from Chinatown. They may sell it cheaper. You want to choose a cut of meat that has even thickness. Otherwise, some parts of the skin will be burnt, and you don't want it to happen. See how perfect this piece of pork belly I have chosen. Okay, now we have a piece of perfect pork belly. We firstly blanch the pork belly by placing it in a pot of boiling water for 5 minutes. After that, cool down the pork belly in cold water for another 5 minutes. Blanching is a very common technique in Southeast Asian cooking. The main idea is to get rid of raw taste of the meat. Also, the pork skin is much easier to poke through after a quick boil. Scrape the skin with the knife to remove the impurities and hairs. It looks very clean now. One of the tips to make the pork belly crispy is to poke a lot of holes in the skin to create the crispy texture. The more holes in the skin, the crispier it will be. Most of the restaurants use pork belly needle. You can just simply use any sharp needles or skewers you can find in your kitchen. Watch out, don't poke too deep through the skin. Only around 5 mm is enough. Otherwise, the fat will leak to the skin while roasting and stop it from popping and turning crispy. Just make sharp and quick pokes like what I'm doing and you will be fine. I feel like I'm practicing Chinese Kung Fu. Then flip the pork belly over. Cut the meat into strip size. This is for marination and the pork will be cooked more evenly. Don't cut too deep through the skin. Just like this is good. Massage the meat with some Chinese cooking wine to give a very nice fragrance to the meat. Okay, then we prepare the seasoning. 1 tablespoon of fine spice powder, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 3 tablespoons of salt. The salt I use is sea salt, or you can use normal salt. Give the meat part nice massage with the seasoning. Well, I think I'm a really good masseuse. Flip the pork belly over. Use a foil paper to rub the meat part. Avoid the skin. This is to keep the moisture of the meat when we air dry the whole pork belly in the fridge later. Pat dry the skin with a kitchen paper. Remove any seasoning attached on the skin, otherwise that part will be burnt very easily. Add some sea salt on top to facilitate drawing the water out from the skin. It is very important to dry the pork skin before roasting. The easiest way is put in the fridge overnight. Or if you want to have it same day, you can do the preparation in the morning, put it in the fridge for at least 6 hours, and you can have it for dinner. We put the pork belly in the fridge overnight. So now is another morning and the pork belly is ready. Now we can preheat the oven and then put the pork belly into the oven and roast it. Hold on. Before roasting the pork belly, pat dry the skin and remove the sea salt on the pork belly. Brush some vinegar on the skin. The acidity of the vinegar helps conduct the heat and makes the crackling sooner and the pork belly much crispier. If you don't have vinegar, you can replace it by lemon juice. Perfect! Now we can put the pork belly into the oven. Roast the pork belly at 200 degrees Celsius for 25 minutes. The key is to observe the process from time to time until the skin gets brown and puffy. Actually, it is really fascinating to watch and hear the skin bubbling and crackling. After 25 minutes, increase the temperature to 250 degrees Celsius and roast it for another 5 minutes to finish the process. Okay, it is done. Cool down the pork belly in room temperature for 20 minutes before you cut it. Otherwise, the skin can crack very easily. You don't really want to see that after all this effort. Cut the pork belly into small pieces and then put it on the serving plates. And the pork belly is ready to serve. You see how nice this piece of pork belly is. The skin is crispy and the meat is tender and moist. It is even better than the one you can buy from Chinatown. Have it with some mustard sauce. See? This is the perfect crispy pork belly. You can make it at home. Time to try? Really crispy. Very good. You can hear the sound. Very good. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe my channel. Please leave me a comment to see how I can improve. I'll see you next time. The moment of truth.